Hello and welcome. You're watching News Central TV. Let's begin with the headlines. Ahmed Usman Ododo sworn in as new governor of Kogi State, Nigeria. In Mali, the military junta has said it will hold a peace dialogue after scrapping a deal with the rebels. And hundreds of Kenyans have marched against rising cases of gender-based violence in that country. Well, those are the headlines. We'll bring you details of those headlines and other stories ahead on the news tonight. For our viewers across Africa and the rest of the world, this is NC Continental Prime. I'm Kofi Bartels. You're welcome. Our coverage tonight begins in West Africa, where Ahmed Usman Ododo has been sworn in as the new governor of Kogi State in Nigeria. The ceremony took place at the Muhammadu Buhari Square in the state capital, Lokoja. Governor Ododo will be the 7th civilian to occupy the office of the governor since the creation of the state on August 27, 1991. It was carved out of Benue and Kwara State. Ododo, who was a candidate of the All Progressives Congress, was declared a winner in the Kogi governorship election of November 12, 2023.
Ahmed Usman Ododo do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, so help me God. To the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that as the governor of Kogi State, my duty is going to the best of my ability, only in the right faithfully and in accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the law, come back here. And always back here in the interest. Not do the affairs. So we have enough time. Yes, that's what I'm telling you. So calm down. I'm telling you the procedure. And always in the interest here now of the sovereignty, but when you are setting it, set it solidarity, well-being, and prosperity of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Telling me GYB is telling OAU, I wish you well. I'll be behind you, and I know you will do well. After this, His Excellency the Governor will report and take salute as the Governor of Kogi.
Stay in Kogi State for a bit. The governor, a newly sworn-in governor, Usman Ododo, has announced the appointment of Dr. Fola Shade Ayode as the secretary to the government of the state. Ayode, who was the SSG for the last 8 years in the immediate past governor Yaya Bello administration, or Bello's administration, is from the Kogi West Senatorial District. The governor also announced the appointment of Ali Bello as chief of staff. Until his appointment, Bello was with Yakubu Ada-Benege, who is now the Auditor General of Local Governments. Now let's focus on security matters. Nigeria's Chief of Army Staff, Taoreed Lagbaja, has condemned in strong terms, the violent attacks in some communities in Mangu local government area of Plateau State. The Army Chief was speaking when he led some senior officers to the Nigerian Army, to Mangu for an on-the-spot assessment of the unrest which occurred in the area. News Central's Chizoba Anionwe was there and brings us this report.
The recent attacks in Mangu, which took many lives and left many others injured, also left scores of houses, worship centers, business places, and other properties burnt. Having assessed the level of damage, the Army Chief commended the General Officer Commanding 3 Division and Commander Operation Safe Haven, Major General Abdusalam Abubakar, for his swift response. He had words for the troops on more efficient service delivery.
To manage any crisis or conflict situation, it has to be a delicate balance of 3 major actors of the government, the people, and the military. The military is meant to create an enabling environment for other elements of national power to come into play, be it political in terms of dialogue, be it developmental in terms of provision of jobs, construction of roads, and what have you. The military has been on the plateau for some time. And so we need the appearance of other elements of national power to bring a lasting and sustainable peace to Plateau. We have said this, we are discussing with other critical stakeholders to ensure that that is done. We cannot rule out flashes, occurrence of conflict, but the response of the military is what matters. What happened in Mangu on 23rd, 24th of January was contained quickly and localized in this community. So I want to commend the troops for that.
Just about 6 months ago, General Lagbaja was in Mangu to commission this step-up command of Operation Safe Haven. He was again here on the plateau on the eve of New Year with other service chiefs when violent attacks broke out in Bokos, Barkin Ladi, and same Mangu local government areas. He reiterated the Nigerian Army's resolve to end the bloodbath in the state, despite rumors of complicity by the troops.
The composition of the troops is such that it's a mixture of the entire Nigerian society. We don't look at faces when we are deploying our troops. We don't ask of their religion. We don't ask of where they come from. So if you ask people here, some of them are from this community, but they've joined the army. Do you expect somebody that is from this community to aid militias that have come to invade this community? I doubt if that is reasonable. So those allegations are unfounded. They are rumor as far as I'm concerned. We have investigated, but we will leave our channels open so that in the event that lawful citizens, law-abiding citizens have complaints about the conduct of our troops, they can channel them to us and we will investigate and take appropriate actions.
With the deployment of more troops and combat enablers, the Chief of the Army Staff is confident that maximum peace will be restored in the state sooner than later. In Mangu for News Central, I am Chizoba Anionwe.
Well, joining us to further discuss this is the Acting Deputy Director, Army Public Relations 3 Division, Nigeria Army, Lieutenant Colonel Ishaku Tako. Good evening to you. Thank you very much for your time tonight. Let's start this way, Lieutenant Colonel. What can you tell us about the visit of the Chief of Army Staff to Plateau State, as we just saw in that report where he went for an on-the-spot assessment of the recent attacks?
All right, thank you very much. The visit of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, Nigerian Army Medal, today has boosted the morale of the troops and has increased in our confidence in what we are doing. As you have heard him speaking, he reminded the troops of the rules of engagement and what needed to be done. This is boosting the morale of the troops. And he told the troops clearly that those perpetrating evils, those that doesn't like seeing Plateau live in peace, should be arrested or should be brought down once they see them with arms and ammunition or burning churches or burning mosques, as the case may be. That was the word of the Chief of Army Staff himself today. He was here by himself to encourage the troops, to give them that, to boost that their morale, to ensure that they do the needful to protect life and property of the citizens.
With the rising cases of violence in Plateau State, we saw what happened in December last year and recently this week. What are the underlying causes of the recent attacks? Are they related to the causes of the one we saw, on Christmas Eve, or is this a different case?
No, it's a different ballgame altogether. You can see that the crisis in Mangu happened within the municipal of Mangu, but those of the Christmas Eve and the previous ones happened in isolated communities in Barikiladi, in Bokos, and other communities, farming communities in Mangu general area. But this one happened within the municipal area, whereby some people, scrupulous people, I call them, criminals that doesn't like peace, instigated themselves against each other. People went around burning churches, burning mosques, burning shops, and looting people's property in the market. This is a different dimension. As far as we are concerned, this is an act of criminality. This is an act of sabotage. This is an act that people don't want peace to continue to reign on the plateau. That's how we look at it. So the underlying factor here is that these are pure criminality as far as we are concerned, because it never happened in the whole of crisis on the plateau. Mangu people have lived in peace. They are peace-loving people, and they have been living together. If you look at the communities very well, these are people living side by side with each other, irrespective of your religion, irrespective of your tribe, irrespective of where you're coming from.
So Lieutenant Colonel Ishaku Takwa, what happened? Because a lot of reports circulating, even in the traditional media, I'm not even talking about social media, we have some reports that there was a cattle rustling attempt and some cows escaped onto the road, and then they blocked traffic, and there was some altercation. A local was beaten by headsmen. We want you to tell us what really happened.
Okay, there was. I don't have that information about cattle rustling that can lead to crisis within the town. If a cattle is being rustled or if a farm is being destroyed, you don't farm within a build-up area. This is a build-up area. Okay, if there's a misunderstanding between somebody presumed to be from a particular tribe with another person presumed to be from another tribe or from another religion, what should be done? It should be resolved through amicable way. We have the police, we have the military, we have the traditional rulers, we have the courts. You can claim damage for whatever happened, but for people to take law into their hands is very unfortunate. To me, this is a cycle of violence, reprisal. I do for you, you do for me. I think that is what happened. It's an issue that started between two people, between two persons. Okay, so why the person that feel aggrieved did not resort to the criminal justice system? Why will he go and mobilize, or why will he go and take law into his hand? These are some of the issues that brought all these things. Issue between two people now has led to burning of churches, burning of mosques, looting of shops, millions of naira of properties being lost. It's unfortunate, definitely.
Lieutenant Colonel Ishaku, is it true, is there any truth to the accounts of some of the locals there that whereas, the natives of Mangu largely observed the curfew, there were some elements who seized the opportunity of the curfew to attack some local villages there, and that's where they had the opportunity to kill them, and that soldiers saw. I don't expect you to agree with that, but that's the report. I want you to speak to that. Soldiers saw this going on, and some people say they didn't do anything about it.
I think it is high time we start looking at reports that we read from the social media. Definitely, you cannot control the social media, but it's good to also confirm from us that are on ground. Me, I've been in Mangu all this while. You can see me; I'm still on uniform. We have been in Mangu. We have seen all this. There's no way soldiers will see people attacking a community and they will just feel a don't care attitude. No. These are things that people pass through the media. And you can see, even in his analysis today, or in his message to the troops today, the Chief of Army Staff encouraged us not to be discouraged by the narrative going on in the social media. We are doing our best. We are doing our utmost best. But the people that feel that they must continue to perpetuate hatred among the people, evil among the people, will just go and tune out unnecessary reports into the social media. How can troops that are deployed to protect the people look at the people being attacked and they will not do anything? I don't believe in that. It's not true.
All right. Thank you very much for trying to get us to understand the issues on ground. Lieutenant Colonel Ishaku Takwa, Acting Deputy Director, Army Public Relations 3 Division. Wish you and your men all the very best in your service to Nigeria.
Thank you very much.
Let's stay with security. The Nigeria Police Force says it has rescued 154 kidnapped victims and arrested about 139 suspects for various crimes against or across the country within the last 2 weeks. This was made known by the Force Public Relations Officer operating the suspects, saying 17 firearms and locally fabricated weapons, including 604 ammunition, were recovered from the suspect. He adds that among the suspects is a syndicate specializing in supplying arms to bandits operating along the Abuja-Kaduna Expressway in Niger and in Zamfara, as well as Kaduna states of the country.
Before you are some of our recovered arms and ammunition, 3 GPR chargers, AK-47 rifles, Type 6 rifles, locally fabricated rifles, pistols, locally fabricated pump actions, 504 pieces of AK-47 live ammunition, and 100 pieces of AA ammunition, that is anti-aircraft ammunition. And of course, within the space of 2 weeks, we have made 154 rescues of kidnapped victims. 154 rescues of kidnapped victims. And a total number of 129 kidnapped suspects arrested, including those that were neutralized during our period rescue operations.
Let's stay with security stories now. The Minister of Nigeria's Federal Capital has pledged to provide security agencies in the AMAC, that's Abuja Municipal Area Council, and Abaji Area Councils with adequate logistics to help tackle security or insecurity within the Federal Capital. This was as the Minister visited both area councils to engage with the residents as part of efforts to nip the escalating insecurity challenges in the Federal Capital Territory. Hello, correspondent in Abuja, Amadine Uyina reports.
The dialogue commenced from the Apo district of Abuja with stakeholders from the Abuja Municipal Area Council. The minister urged residents of the council to take the issue of insecurity seriously, saying its effects on citizens and development can be devastating.
Insecurity does not know who is a Christian. Insecurity does not know who is a Muslim. Insecurity does not know where you come from. It can be me today. It can be you tomorrow. It can be the other person tomorrow. So it has nothing to do with you are from here, you are not from here.
Stakeholders of the area council presented a list of measures needed to be put in place to help some of the satellite communities tackle insecurity affecting them.
It will interest you, sir, to know that if communities such as Kabusa, Keti, Bao, and other communities that have become kidnappers' hideout are accessible by security agencies, the rate of crime would have been adequately addressed. On this note, sir, we are pleading and we are appealing to you, sir, for your quick intervention to create access road to the following communities. 1. Kabusa Keti Access Road. 2. Takushara Burum Access Road. 3. Karishi to Gidankwanu, Leka and Kutasa.
From there, the ministerial team then proceeded to the Abaji Area Council to meet with stakeholders over the worrisome state of insecurity in the council. The chairman of the council appealed for more military and police presence in the area, which shares borders with neighboring Kogi State.
There is a demand for a military checkpoint in Yabatam has been obtained in Naharakisa. An upgrade of police outposts in Daun to a full divisional office with additional manpower, additional vehicle and logistics, for the security agency to discharge their duty responsibility.
The minister pledged his commitment to providing security agencies with adequate logistics.
We are not going to leave anything. Our security agencies who are working will be given all the necessary support in terms of logistics. All the equipment we will give them to see that they carry out their assignment. Very soon, in not more than a week, we are going to provide vehicles to all the police divisions and other security agencies in the 6 area councils.
The dialogue, according to the minister, is the brainchild of President Bola Tinubu to get the cooperation of citizens in the area councils so as to support government's quest to tackle insecurity in the nation's capital. In Abuja for News Central, I am Amadin Uyi.
To more stories, Lagos Sexual and Domestic Violence Court has sentenced the founder of I Reign Christian Ministry to life in prison on Friday for raping a church member. The founder of the church, Feyi Daniels, was found guilty of rape and a sexual assault by Judge Justice Rahman Oshodi for crimes committed against a female worshipper at the Lagos-based ministry. Well, we have joining us tonight Bisola Hepzibah Johnson. She is an evangelist. Bisola, it's good to have you on the program tonight. Let's begin this way. What distinctive difficulties, you're also a gender rights activist, if I'm not mistaken. So what distinctive difficulties do individuals have who have experienced sexual violence within a religious institution? What do they encounter, in their pursuit of justice? And feel free to share your personal experience as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me here. I appreciate. Yeah, for those who have gone through this sexual violence, especially in religious institutions, I'll put myself into the scenario. People go through stages of emotional trauma. You start asking yourself, why me? You understand? You feel sense of regret and a lot of other stuff. And especially where you are being threatened, even by the leadership of such institutions. So fear inclusive. And some people, they have mental breakdown, emotional breakdown, psychological breakdown. It takes courage to pursue justice in this kind of situation. Thank you very much.
Interesting. Yeah, Bisola, are religious institutions, uniquely are obligated to confront these challenges? And if yes, what drives this special responsibility of these religious institutions?
What drives this special responsibility? Nigeria as a country has law embedded in our constitution, isn't it? So church is also being guided by its own constitution. So whereby the leadership of certain religious institutions are into their own race or maybe their own show. That is when you begin to see this. The word of God, I will speak, from religious perspective because I am an evangelist. The word of God is the guideline. So if the leadership go through what the word says, I think, they will get what will drive them in controlling all these inadequacies in the church.
Interesting. Give us your opinion. What measures need to be taken to ensure that religious leaders and religious organizations are held responsible for the offenses committed by their members or by their leaders?
We need the government and also the association called Christian Association of Nigeria. They are not doing enough. Fortunately, this evening I was in talk with one of their leaders, and I expressed my disappointment in them. And at the end of the day, the person I spoke with came out to say shamefully that they are toothless bulldogs. They have no power that backs them up. So we need the government to back this institution or association up with certain power in order to control, you understand, to have certain control. And they should also work in conjunction with the CAC. People should not just walk into CAC and they want to register church. Where are you coming from? What is your journey? They need to go back to Christian Association of Nigeria. If the leadership of Christian Association of Nigeria are backed up with certain power, you understand? Then the people will go through them. And when they are satisfied, they can go for their certificates.
All right. That's an interesting proposition. Bisola Hepzibah Johnson, evangelist, thank you so very kindly for your time tonight.
Thank you very much.
Moving on, as one of the most populous countries in Africa, Nigeria's consumption capacity holds a great potential for the recycling industry. Nigerian company is giving old tires a second life, turning waste into bricks, floor tiles, and even flip-flops. More in this report.
Reports by the Tire Industry Project. 1 billion end-of-life tires are generated globally every year, and an estimated 4 billion are currently in landfills and stockpiles worldwide. However, in Nigeria, one company is helping to reduce waste through recycling. Free Recycle is transforming old tires into paving bricks, floor tiles, flip-flops, and other goods, and since its launch in 2018, the company have recycled over 400,000 tires into new products.
We've been doing our best to educate the general public on the need to embrace recycling. You know, there's wealth in waste. Most people don't know that, but I'm happy that quite a number of people have started identifying opportunities in recycling.
If the depends on the trust of the company, if the product is okay, there's no problem about that.
For bungalows, I don't think there is much risk in it. For bungalows, basically, you can play around with bungalows. But if you are raising the load beyond bungalow level, it may not be advisable.
We need to welcome new innovation. So I will consider it, but with a proof. Probably I've had one or two people that have used that bricks from that same company that is introducing it from a tire, production.
Then mixed with an adhesive that lets workers shape the waste into all manner of products, which is believed to have prevented more than 8,100 tons of CO2 emissions since it began.
We are not only reducing the amount of tires that are being burnt in dump sites and landfills, and we all know that when you burn these tires, toxic fumes are released into the environment, which can then result in chronic health issues. We're also clearing out drainages. With tires and other solid waste in drainage, we usually see what happens. Flooding during the raining season, and then breeding ground for mosquitoes, which then causes malaria.
The existence of diverse opportunities along the value chain indicates an untapped gold mine that not only contributes to economic growth, but also social prosperity and environmental protection. If correctly managed, efficient waste recycling can result in job creation, renewable energy generation, air and water quality improvement, among other things. In Lagos, for News Central, Bettina Nwili.
Mali's military junta has set up a committee to organize a national peace dialogue after it scrapped a key 2015 peace deal with northern separatist groups following months of hostility. Algeria was the main mediator in the efforts to return peace to northern Mali following the agreement signed in its capital in 2015 between the Malian government and predominantly Tuareg armed groups. However, the military-appointed head of government, Shugel Kokala Mahiga, in a video posted on social media Friday, said there will be no negotiations outside Bamako, as it will no longer go to a foreign country to speak about its problems. The Algerian brokered deal had already begun to unravel last year when fighting between the separatists and Mali government troops broke out in August after 8 years of calm. Coming up, hundreds of Kenyans march against rising cases of gender-based violence. We'll bring you details of this and more when we return. Welcome back. In Kenya, several hundred people marched in the capital, Nairobi, on Saturday to protest against femicide in Kenya, where over a dozen women have been killed this month in cases that shocked the nation. At least 16 women have been killed in Kenya, according to media reports this year, shining a spotlight on violence against women, which the government has described as rising. In one of the cases which gained nationwide attention, a 26-year-old woman was killed on January 4 at a short-term rental apartment by a suspect who police say is part of an extortionist gang which targets women through dating sites. Now, barely a fortnight later, a 20-year-old woman was strangled and dismembered with the remains stuffed into a plastic bag. The two men are in police custody over the case but are yet to be charged.
I come from a family of women, but beyond my relationships, I'm aware that women are not safe. There's what's been happening in the news, but it's not a new issue really. Last year over 700 women suffered intimate partner deaths because of intimate partner violence.
Or if you have seen anybody who has signs of maybe they are too entitled to a woman and her identity and her person, call them out, talk to them. Raise a better generation. This is what we are trying to ask. And also, other than that, the law should back us up and it should support us by making sure that these murderers are actually put to book as quick as it can be done.
I am here because of the worrying silence of femicide happening in this country. It is not something that we can accept. It keeps happening and the trend is very, very worrying.
What we've seen in the last 10 days is, too many women brutally assaulted, killed, and tortured even.
Moving on, performers attending the Kalahari Arts and Heritage Festival have expressed great excitement in using the event to tell the world about the importance of the San culture in the African origins. The festival is an annual event in Northern Cape province that celebrates the indigenous San communities of South Africa in music, dance, and arts. For more, here's Bongani Sisiba.
The day started with mentorship activities on how to preserve the San cultural heritage. 16 groups from Botswana, Namibia, and South Africa are here to draw knowledge from each other, share ideas, and have fun.
The festival is important because I want to show our culture for other people to see and people who are there at the festival to go and talk there around where they are come from. I'm an actor, I'm also a singer, and why I'm doing this is because I love acting and singing, because I want to put our San culture forward.
Maybe dancing if it's possible. But I'm here to tell people about my tradition and show them how to make my tradition and jewelry and all that things.
With vibrant music and dances just to showcase their rich culture, at the background, the flickering flames casting enchanting shadows on their joyful faces. The campfire burning at the background in this lively gathering.
It is important or imperative to preserve the San culture that it originates from Namibia. We took it from Namibia, but we are doing it our way in Botswana, and we are proud to be saving it for the younger generation. The future of tomorrow lies in our hands as the youngsters.
I think it is important for us to be dancing like this so that our culture don't get... We should keep on going on with our culture. Try and, as the young ones are growing up like that, we should make sure that our culture we don't get lost on the way. We really love our dancing.
The San people have come together to honor their heritage and share it with the world. The festival has beautiful, captivating dances, each move representing different aspects of San's life. These dances tell stories, express joy, and celebrate their ancestral connection to the land. It's truly breathtaking to witness.
This song is just full of love, full of happiness and peace. Peace is in this dance. This is where you can actually find peace and happiness, because it's it's just a beautiful feeling.
The Sans have preserved their traditions for centuries, passing them down from generation to generation. This festival is a testament to their resilience and the beauty of their customs. As the night progressed, the music and dance grew more spirited. The beats of the drums echoed through campsite, weaving a spellbinding tapestry of sound and movement.
The energy here is palpable, and I can feel the connection. The music that is played here, it brings people together.
This show of tonight is just a glimpse of what to come, as various groups here prepare to showcase their talents at annual Kalahari Arts and Heritage Festival on Saturday. In the Kalahari Desert, Northern Cape in South Africa, for News Central, Wangani Siziba.
Mongani, with not just a report, but with the dance steps. Thank you very much, Mongani Sisiba. Let's turn our attention to the world of business, and we join our business desk for the latest.
In business, we begin in Africa's largest economy. Foreign investors' purchases of Nigerian stocks have declined for the sixth straight year, according to new official data. This modern drought lingers despite the reforms that sparked a massive rally in the market. According to data from the Nigerian Exchange Limited, the total amount of stocks bought by foreign investors fell to 174.8 billion naira last year, the lowest since 2008, from 195.76 billion naira in 2022. In 2008, foreign inflows plunged to 153.46 billion naira in the thick of the global financial crisis that led to a stock market crash in the country. Stocks worth 235.82 billion naira were floated by foreign investors last year, up from total sales amounting to 183.47 billion naira in 2022. Still in Africa's largest economy, the outdated data being released by the Nigerian Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative (NATI) has incensed its international counterpart that advocates for transparency in the mining and oil industries, that is the Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative (AITI). AITI charged NATI to ensure that its data were timelier, as the global body encouraged journalists in Nigeria to always put both the local and international transparency agencies on their toes with respect to releasing reports promptly. The scheme has NATI announced that its 2022 and 2023 audit reports for the oil, gas and mining sectors would be ready in September this year. The most recent audit report for the sectors as released by NATI were the ones for 2021. In Southern Africa now, in an effort to meet demand for electricity during a national energy crisis, Tshwane, the municipality that encompasses South Africa's capital of Pretoria, wants to lease out 2 closed coal-fired power facilities. The decision by the opposition-controlled council highlights the desperation of the country's biggest cities to end power cuts imposed by the state utility that is slashing revenue, snarling traffic, and angering citizens. South Africa relies on coal for more than 80% of its electricity. Its economy is the third most carbon-intensive globally after Mongolia and the Solomon Islands, according to Our World in Data. And finally, in East Africa, the Kenyan government is seeking to build an additional 30 county aggregation and industrial parks. This, it says, will increase the value addition to boost exports, while also targeting to double foreign direct investment up to 1.6 billion Kenyan shillings this year. Kenya's Trade and Industrialization Cabinet Secretary, Rebecca Miano, said the establishment of the aggregation hubs would boost value addition across value chains and spur manufacturing productivity. The government had initially targeted 18 county aggregation and industrial parks, and construction has begun. The addition means some 48 industrial parks will now be built under the program. The facilities will provide value addition centers for agricultural products as well as storage facilities. And that's a package on business news at this hour. Thank you for watching. I am Perpetua Fasami Peter. The news continues shortly. Bye for now.
And let's turn our attention to sport now. Of course, the ongoing African Nations Cup, and Nigeria Super Eagles are currently taking on the indomitable Lions of Cameroon, their eternal rivals, in a round of 16 clash in Ivory Coast. And of course, it's at about the 36th minute of the match, the 45th minute of the match, just a few minutes before they go for halftime. Nigeria is ahead by a single goal, 1-0. A goal scored in the 36th minute by Ademola Lookman. Looking all good for the Nigerians, and of course, if they keep the scores at that, then Nigeria qualifies for the quarterfinals, while Cameroon goes back home. Stay with us right here on News Central, because we have our reporter Favor Toa live in La Côte d'Ivoire, and he will bring you reports subsequently. Well, that's the size of our package for tonight. But before we go, let's take another look at the major stories. We told you that Usman Ododo has been sworn in as the new governor of Kogi State in Nigeria. In Mali, the military junta is set to hold a peace dialogue despite scrapping a deal with the rebels. And we also brought you news that hundreds of Kenyans have marched against the rising cases of gender-based violence in that country. Please send us your eyewitness reports in a safe manner to our WhatsApp number showing on your screen, or the email address as well. And on social media, you can follow us at News Central TV on the major platforms. Also, watch News Central TV live on these channels and platforms. Many thanks for your time. My name is Kofi Bartels. Have yourself a good weekend and a good night.